All right, let's go ahead and get started. All right. So hope everyone's doing okay. Had a good weekend. Thanks for joining tonight. As you can see, we're doing this live stream during futures. Sometimes we do this. I did this intentionally because I wanted to see kind of how the market opened a little bit before I started looking at people's questions. But sometimes you kind of get an idea where things are headed. Like we just saw oil breaking that low, right? So that kind of gives us a clue, right? What where things going, kind of gives us a little bit of a good indication, right? Before we start looking at your guys' questions. So yeah, market, the most likely path, not the only path, but the most likely path is sideways to lower for the next few weeks. And could create opportunities, of course, to buy the dip in one of your favorite stocks, perhaps the ones you're asking about even. But again, it's not the only path. There's a comment in here. I looked through them already. So many gurus are predicting a small pullback and the rip higher. They are right now. Our count shows that. And it aligns with that type of forecast. They use other systems, other methods, other technical analysis to come up with the same conclusion, which also kind of does concern me a little bit. So that's why we have to be careful that it doesn't turn into more of a bullish breakout here than people are expecting. And we don't get a big 2 here that we just continue to grind higher, or we extend 5 significantly, a lot of chop. 1 comes later. And then 2 comes kind of a surprise when all the gurus decide that, oh no, that's the bottom's in, and it's so that's why I don't think it's important to try. I don't recommend trading in and out of this or calling the top, shorting and buying the like this. To me, this situation here is kind of like tough to predict, and the surprise would be to the upside, I believe, not the downside. So it'd be better to just buy the dip and play the trend for now, the longer term trend, which is still higher on multiple stocks and ETFs. So many instruments have incomplete cycles higher that will take us no matter what happens here in the fall. No matter what happens in the fall, it's going to be another swing. There will be another swing higher. No matter what happens here, we may start to just finish that cycle now. We don't know how the market's going to behave. And there'll be no pullback that can happen. Erase divergence. We see a lot of divergence. The divergence can erase. We all know that. So that's kind of the situation we find ourselves in. But this is the most likely path. That's the one I'm kind of going with. But I'm not recommending shorting it or trying to call the top. I would just wait for your pitch, be patient, and then an opportunity will emerge and you can take advantage of it. And if you overtrade this market, you're going to lose. And I think that's what was happening last week, was like a lot of people overtrading the market, searching for things that move because they missed a move a few weeks ago. They're missing moves in Reddit. They're missing moves in MBIS. They're missing these moves because they got too bearish. And so they're trying to make up for it, and they're overtrading now. And now they're searching for setups that just aren't there. I occasionally get asked by people about setups, and I'm like, why are you even considering they're over? And I just kind of know they're overtraded. I won't tell them that. I'm not going to be rude, but I mean, I can tell you're don't overtrade this market. You're going to have to be patient and wait if you've missed out on some of these entries already. And it is the way it is. Believe me, there'll be another opportunity. There's going to be another pullback. There always is. There's always a UNH out there that we don't know about. There's always a Novo out there. There's always some calamity. And we can pounce on that like vultures and take advantage of that. But you just want to be patient and wait for your setups. All right, let's go to your questions. I have a lot of questions. Got kind of a head start on some of these. I had a chance to kind of go into it earlier, so we'll just kind of go into GDS here and take a look. All right, let's keep going. Let's get to the bottom of my list here. GDS. Let me find it there. Okay. So let me just kind of scan through everything. Okay, so GDS. All right. Like I said, I kind of got a head start on some of these questions, so we can move through this quickly. labeled the chart like this. This is a tricky label because it's only looking to me like in moving in threes. So you have a 3-swing move and another 3-swing move that ended here. So now we're in likely the next swing higher in Y. And we moved 3, we pulled back in 3, and we're up in 3. So you're in the middle of you're in the middle area, the middle area, the middle area. So you're in the most indecisive part of the setup that you can get. It's basically a coin flip. You could double and get a bigger pullback in X, which you could buy if that happens, or it could be finished and you can get a 5 wave and start pushing higher here. Something like this, push higher, pull back, start making the Y wave in an ABC. We don't know, no one will know that, and you just have to watch these levels. As long as you're above 1685, the market should continue higher, but you have not made a 5, so no, if we keep pushing any lower from here, you risk a double correction in X, and the double correction in X should get you down to retest these lows, perhaps even break them. So just understand that. And but again, we're moving in 3 waves, so it can be very erratic, and it's not really a trending instrument. Nothing I would personally trade, but I do think we need that 5th wave to be more confident in the forecast. Without it, you can't rule out the double correction, and then somewhere down here a retest of this low. If we break this low, we risk, a double correction off of this big X, potentially here. We have W, here, X, and then Y, a capitulation move down. And you see you can't even get a level on it. You'll be well under these lows. It's not an instrument I typically would trade, but good luck on it. All right, Disney. Disney is good. For now, I expect a much bigger connector that could last years, but I think there's going to be a moment in Disney where you got to be careful for another leg lower similar to this, because you have a lower low sequence here. You have a lower low from here and another low. It's a very irregular bottom. You almost broke the low here again. So it's a very suspect bottom that may not be firm, although this sequence should push much higher. It's going to break out of this double bottom. It's going to trap a lot of people, I think, up here. It may even break these highs, but I believe you're going to be in for the long haul. But hey, I think you got some short-term gains coming. And I've been saying that with Disney. I started my channel with Disney. We tried to, pick it up. It just didn't give us a clear setup. But then you could have backed into the low here from here to there. And now you're in this too. Now you're in this too. That should end eventually. It could be done here. It could be done there. You've gone deep enough. So we just don't know. And again, if it double corrects, then I would look to buy that dip and trade. I would trade this connector wave, because again, we could be wrong. It could be wrong, and if I'm wrong, then the bottom's in. The bottom's in right here. But I believe you got more upside coming. This will double bottom. This will come out. People will get all excited and happy, and then something else will happen here. I don't know what. Probably the end of the grand super cycle and the indices is what. Okay, VVPR. Looking at this is really difficult to label, but I looked at it again. Moving in 3 waves, we have a W. We're moving in 3 again for an X. So again, we can call that low. It looks like to me we're trying to base out and come out of this from this low, and I have to label it this way for now. Now, it only shows 3 swings up, no 5 yet. So there is a possibility we come all the way back down and break these lows and negate this setup. Okay, so I think it's going to break out. I'll just give you my honest opinion. I think it's going to break out. How high it can go, I don't know. Use your imagination. It's as long as you're above this low, you're in a bull market phase that could last again years. Okay, this is a solar type company I looked at. Solar was obliterated, blown up, right? Remember, this was Biden, happy talk, back then, right? Everybody's into green stuff and now no one wants it. Now all of a sudden solar, we have signs that the solar made a major low potentially, most likely. So perhaps it's going to do a stealth accumulation here for a while and eventually break out. All right, EQX is I think this one's a gold stock. Right now we have 5 up, 3 down. It looks like a 1-2-1-2 setup with a 3 of 3 breakout. So it looks like you're in a breakout here, and I would just expect more upside. And this low, major low, and you have a major swing here. Here, I put it right here. That's your 3, 4, 5. So I put the 5 right there. Something like this setup, and now you see that vertical. So it's showing a bullish setup. We take out 13. It's blue skies, no overhead resistance. Okay. I think in this wave though, I mean nothing goes up in a straight line, right? So it should my guess is you have another 1-2, right? And then another 1-2, and maybe you're finishing the first 3 here. Could be another 1-2, a small one, and go even further. I mean, that's obviously a 3. We haven't taken out this peak, so that implies perhaps we still haven't seen the really big move yet. All right, the next one is one I've kept you guys out of. Biogen finally hitting our box. I think I've had this set up on for months, maybe even a year or so. Avoiding the trap. Another one that I helped everyone avoid this trap with the lower low capitulation. Now, what we're looking for is, see this, if this is a flat, we need a 4 that kind of matches, on the higher chart. We need a 4 and a 5, but this is the area you got to start to buy in this area for the long term, but it could take a while to come out of this. Although we have been seeing V bottoms and in shorter cycles, like we could do something like this, right? We can barely see it and it pops up and comes down. So, but this is the area now you see you have a lot of chart support here, and here. So you would think the market's going to come back to test that. If you notice, we broke out. The market never back tested the breakout. It's almost like a technical, it's incomplete, technical behavior. The market loves to test the breakout, but it forgot to do them. Well, now it's coming back to do that. It just took it, almost 20 years, but it finally came back. Only to find another low, right? This is why you can't really buy and hold stocks, right? Because you have to sell at some point, right? Because if you buy and hold, I mean, geez, you hold for all of them. Now maybe it paid dividends, but look at that money just. Basically, you're back at the highs of 2000 with nothing to show for it, but inflation took your money away, so you're probably down unless the dividends offset it, which it probably hasn't, because it probably doesn't pay a big dividend, if at any. So my thing is saying is, though we did make a higher high here, technically the market will recover. They're going to come out with some probably new drug, new formulation, or be taken over and taken out of the market. That's another possibility. And then we'll come out. So yeah, Biogen, just keep an eye. But I think, I mean, the box is the box, right? And we've seen things react off the box. So I mean, I think you could start a position, but I would expect it to kind of meander around in here for a while. And then at some point they'll drop news and that'll be it. All right, the next question is Solana. Yes, Solana, we don't know yet. It's unfortunately we don't know if it's going to turn into a 5 or a more bullish setup. I would just recommend holding, playing the long game, accumulating. If it goes down there, great. Take the free money and run. I would not be getting cute trading in and out of Solana. I would not be getting cute trying to be all perfect with it. You need to wait and hold for the bigger prize. You already have a higher high on this. This broke the all-time high here. And then, of course, they rug pulled it, almost just like UEC. They're almost the same thing. And now they're building it back up, and it's likely to come out. I still think it could be in this 1-2-1-2-1-2 setup. If it's in this setup, it's not coming back to 160. It's just not going to happen. If it's in a 5 though, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yeah, it could come back to 165. And of course, that would be a good dip buy because this would be the connector off of that, and we would see it come down there, literally to like 165. I mean, literally. I mean, that's the area to buy it. So, I think it's up to what the crypto market wants to do, right? Are we going to get us like a little quick capitulation here? Maybe try to backtest this bull flag again, truncate and run, or is it going to be something more bearish, or even more bearish than this, where I mentioned before, it could be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then it comes back down somewhere down to 108. I bet if Bitcoin did that, Solana would be in a 5 and Solana would come to 165. But again, this is why it's so important to build your positions early so you don't have to stress about this shorter cycle stuff, because the shorter cycle is not clear. But I would just expect continue grind higher, because we have 5 swings up. If it's 5 swings up, no matter what, if it's a 5 and it pulls back, well, we know we need another swing higher. But that's going to retest and break the all-time highs. And just like we've seen before, you've already had the rug pull on all-time highs. To get it again is pretty rare, so you probably will break out on that next swing higher if this is 5. If it's not 5 and it's this, it's just going to come up, and we'll wake up one day, it'll be 245. Maybe tomorrow we wake up, it's 245 and you missed the move. So you can't get cute with this stuff. That's why you got to buy it early. You have to buy. Once you see these cycles end, you got to be aggressive and buy them early. Right. Once we got the signal, the cycle ended on that 5th wave. I was pounding the table to buy this thing here and even here. I had a box here, it's gone, but it was buy. So this is what you have to do. You can't like get too cute. And but this is where I think Solana is going. The long term is good on this because of this higher high off the all-time high here. Okay, I don't show it, but it's another 1, 2, 1, 2, whatever this is. And we're going to break out of probably a big cup and a big handle. And I think $600 is in our future or higher. But we never trade on my channel what we can make. We don't care about what we can make. We care about what we can lose. So I'm glad you're thinking about 165 because, yeah, there is a potential for that drop. So you got to plan for that. But I would just deploy more money into it if that happens. All right, LTCN. So Litecoin, I think, has confirmed the low. It's going to grind higher. Again, not a straight line. Not a straight line on Litecoin, but it will continue higher. It's going to continue higher. LTCN, like I mentioned before, 1, 2. Now, here's a couple of possibilities, right? Right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right, and I think that matches the count with Litecoin right now. So we probably should be conservative and label it to match the count we have on the coin itself. I'll check it in a minute. Right? So it makes sense to me. Makes sense to me. So we'll be conservative, but this low is probably in. And then you pull back, probably back down to the 766 area, and then it's everybody's dreams come true. I can't rule out though a 1, 2, 1, 2, so this may not happen. But if it does, well, then you have a chance to get in on the trade if you miss this, right? Because once you made the 5, now you have confirmation the low's in, so now you can get more aggressive buying the dip. Now you do have a dip here, so it's at 9, so you could buy it at 9 and just know, okay, it could come back later at 7, and I could just buy more, and I could accumulate, and I could just say, all right, my strategy, my trading strategy, again, I'm going to look at the big picture. I'm just going to accumulate in this area, and then enjoy the nice gains later, and play it, and not worry about the day trader mentality. I have to trade every day, right? So play the bigger picture. You don't have to worry about these counts. You can just kind of accumulate in this area, and then you can come out of this. It's just my thinking. If you want to try to trade it, though, you may have a top and another pullback coming. And that lines up with the coin, what we're seeing in the coin for now. But again, we've seen the market erase divergence many times. And it has been in this massive downtrend, right? A massive downtrend from here. So it's just coming out, right? Just coming out of this big move. And it's a mess. I'll have to clean that up later. But we've been following this all the way down, and it finally is coming out. It's finally coming out. All right, MP. I think MP will come back to that and backtest the breakout. I just said that markets usually love to backtest the breakout. Now, Biogen took 20 years. Hell, maybe MP takes 20 years before it comes back to 60. We don't know the future, but I do think the likely path is when this cycle's finished from this low, I wouldn't be surprised to see it backtest 60. I wouldn't be surprised when this all finishes that the pullback comes all the way back down to 60 to backtest this breakout, which has to hold technically. Well, it better hold, or we're in a lot of trouble, or you won't get that push out you're looking for. The real money, the real big wave, the one that we really want. Because remember, this cycle already has a lot of wave 3s in it here. So we have to correct this cycle. It's unlikely to see it continue to gap up and extend. That'd be highly unusual. So we need a top and a shakeout to get to the next boom, the next real big move. So I think it will. I think it will hit 60. I think it's going to. I think it's more than likely. Highly likely. But when is the key? I don't know when. But it probably will backtest this. Okay, Intel pullback opportunities. I don't like to trade Intel, and you'll see why in a minute. I'm not convinced. I know there's a lot of happy talk, and people still remember, how great it used to be of a company, but it's just the chart is the chart, and I just can't get over my chart. So I went ahead and just updated this and just made sure, based on some new data we have come in. So again, we're looking at a top, an A, B, C for W, an X, and then we have an A, and then we're in a connector wave, and then one more low. Again, this is probably the major end of the grand super cycle wave, whatever this happens, more than likely. I think you're going to see more upside, though, in the short term. I wouldn't be surprised to see it hit 28, 29 as this C wave plays out more. Okay, but I believe it's another bull trap. We have a lower low. And you're going to be back testing this massive historic trend line. And last time you touched it, it got, so my guess is you'll touch it again and get rejected. Just my guess. These are what I'm thinking. I do not think that's a low. I do not think it's a low. I'm not interested in messing with it. The downtrend line is here. You have to come back out and break, maybe probably break like 37. Just assume, probably like 36, and then you can call the low, and then we can buy the first pullback. But I'm not interested in trading this. For some reason, a lot of traders, I get asked about Intel so much though from my DMs. I don't know why people are so fascinated by Intel, but they are. People are. I don't know. Maybe again, I think it's because it used to be so good. And I think imagine if Nvidia ever did something like Intel did, right? Imagine if Nvidia 20 years from now is like, we look back and it's like shit, and it's nothing. I bet people will still be fascinated asking about Nvidia as it trades at $10 or $20. So I guess it is what it is. I mean, it used to be a hell of a company, but it's just not anymore for whatever reason. Now the government's trying to come in and support it, but I don't know. I don't know if it's gonna be enough. All right. USAR, it's kind of it goes back and forth with MP. We have a 1, 2, 1, 2, 1. I mean, all these 1, 2s. Now I'm calling the first 3 here. And I'm looking for maybe a deeper 4 back to 14. A lot of overlapping waves, no extension. So there's a possibility it could be another 1, 2. Yeah, it could be another 1, 2. I mean, I put 3 or 4 because I'm just like, geez, could it be another 1, 2? I mean, I can make it another one too. I can make this another one too, right? You come back to the wave 4, you hit this box, and then you finally get the separation we want in the real wave 3. So it just depends on your bias, but obviously it's pretty bullish. I think we took this high out, or did we? We almost did. Just missed it. Just missed it. But I mean, I think it's inevitable. We're going to take this high out, right? So I think on the shorter cycle, though, it looks like you have a 3-swing move with a connector with a lower low. So you're in the middle area. It could spike back up. It could spike back up. It could do something like this. And then the target will raise. But it could also be finished already. And we could have the capitulation move next week or this week, coming up here. And then that's it. There's your 4. So something like that. Okay. That's what I've got for those symbols. UEC has an unfilled fib. Seems extreme, but my test stat blue. Well, UEC's in blue sky territory. UEC's in blue sky territory, okay? UEC's in blue sky territory, and that's a good thing. It's a good thing. But again, nothing's guaranteed in this market, right? Or any market, but it's definitely not this one. So my guess is, again, if you haven't looked at this chart, I have to go to the, okay, you have a massive consolidation in base that's really been going on since 2006. You finally broke out. You could force an inverse head and shoulders, whatever you want to call it. It's a massive breakout that should last much longer than a few weeks. A 17-year breakout is not going to last 17 days. It's going to last probably years of gains, years and years. So we need to stay above, though, this general area. Will we backtest this? Absolutely. I almost guarantee we're going to backtest this. When this cycle's over, whenever this finishes, my guess is it's going to go straight back down here to backtest this level. And then it's either going to hold it or not. If it holds it, it's a new bull market, like I said, for probably years. If it doesn't, it's going to be a failed breakout. It won't be the end of the world because it would still be 5 up. But then you have, then you open up the door that could have come all the way back down to 5 or lower. So I don't think it's going to do that. I don't think you're going to break down, because you've already had the shakeout of the break. See, you had a breakout here, and then they had the massive shakeout. So the market's kind of already tested and done that. I don't think it will do it again a second time. I don't think it can do it a second time, because it's like, okay, the bulls got fooled here. And now they're like, are we going to get fooled a second time? Probably not. They're probably going to have more courage to hold and accumulate. So I don't think you're going to get this kind of move again. But, I can't say 100% sure. But I just don't think so. I don't think 5 is likely to be filled if ever again. As long as I think we could stay above this $8.50 here, $8.50. And still be good. But again, it's probably going to test this soon. It's going to test this. And now if it doesn't hold, it may pull back deeper. It will pull back deeper, but I don't know. Could it go all the way back to 5 or 4? I don't think so. I just don't think so. But who knows? Okay, next is Coreweave. Coreweave did kind of broke down. It's kind of tough. I actually think it's going to hit 300 in the future before I think I'm really concerned about it. So this is the chart we have on Coreweave. We have 5 up, an erratic connector that really pushed the boundaries of this B wave, but it's the only way to label it. 1, 2, 3, 5 up, rug pull, and Y. 1, 2, 3. Looks like 5 down here in Y, but we have to go to a much shorter cycle and we see the 5 down. So what you got to be careful of, and again, I have a box here, but what you have to be careful of is something like this. Like that. Something like that. Okay? This box is very speculative, even though I have it. Now, there is some logic to it. I'm using a fib extension here. This has proven to work in the past with these types of corrections where there's not really much room left. So we can see if that will hold up or not. So you do not have any chart support here. You sort of start to get into chart support in the 60s. I think it will do something like this and come out. Now, you can see we haven't really erased the divergence there, nor there, nor there. So it's likely to still have more downside. Okay, so this is likely to still go lower, but I think you got a relief rally and B coming, and then another move lower, and then that hopefully will be the capitulation wave, and then that's it for 2. So this is what I'm thinking. Okay, something like this, and then we come out, we hit that 300 level, and then after that, who knows? Okay, CNC. So that one I have done. Looks like I've got one more low. We looked at this before on my live stream, and we were waiting for this chart support level. We kind of had this hypothetical level, and that's where it tagged. So it went pretty deep in the box. So it's likely to find a low here at any moment. News will drop at any moment. In fact, I can easily just do this and call it finished, right? But this seems like a higher degree 4, so it seems a little premature. But I mean, this is the area. You have chart support here, and that's why it bounced here, because you have, I mean, the odds of it breaking that type of support on the first try is almost not possible. So of course it was going to bounce. Like, of course it's going to bounce. And that's what we have here. The question is that the low? See, Novo, that became the low just on the chart, support. But now we had the count also line up here. The count seems to be missing a swing to me. And then, maybe it comes back, wicks through here. But this area, but again, I can just do that and it's done. So like it's ready to turn. It's ready to turn. Okay, FI. All right, FI is in a triple correction. WX, YXZ. Again, it hit massive chart support. I mean, even more than any of the other charts. Look at this. Top, top, top. A triple, almost like a triple top. Again, the first back test of that, obviously you're going to bounce. Right, you're going to bounce. I mean, so obvious. And look, it's been straight down. You got to correct this cycle. The shorts, the people who shorted this, that got it right, they haven't taken profit yet, but they better start. They're going to take profit and they're going to squeeze, and you're going to get a reaction. And that reaction will either start a new bull market and 2 will be in, or it'll be a massive connector that will fail and take this to essentially 0. Well, not 0, because it's up pretty high, probably down to 70. So I would just call the low in. I look at it as a 1-2-1-2 setup and a 1-2, because I think the reason why did I do that is we haven't taken this peak out. So we haven't really seen 3. And look, the higher low, RSI making a higher low, a higher low. So we have to be more bullish on the setup, right? So we are. But this is where you would this is it. Okay. Next question is ARC BK blockchain. This was a real tricky one here. Showing 5 down with a connector, and then 5 more down that end it here. And now we're coming out. 1-2, 1-2. But the problem I have is it's only 3 swings. So we could, it's still possible to break this low and make a bigger extension in this impulse from this peak. Right? We have a 1-2, 1-2, 1-2. And we have the 3, 4s, and 5s. It is possible that this whole thing is 1, 2, and then if this breaks, turns into a 3, 4, 5. Essentially, it goes to 0. So I think it's do or die for this pattern. It has to stay above this low. Now, we can't rule out the connector like this, right? We've seen these before, and then it goes to 0. So like we can't rule, but then I don't like to trade that. In rare cases, I'll trade that. But this is it for now. I would just go with discount for now. As long as you're above this 14 cents, we'll see how high it can go. And again, I don't know. It could keep going because there's not a lot of data on the other side of this. It's only 3 waves down, so we don't know how high it can go. It can go as high as it wants to. So I would just keep tracing the waves out. All right, the next question is Milena coin. Milena coin is, it was too difficult to find any count from here. So we just said, okay, the low, we have the cycle ended there, which is clear. And now we're in a new 3-wave cycle higher at least from this low. So you have 3, and then you have like a 3 with the divergence erased. And now I would expect a Y, something like this, as long as we stay above 19.4. If we break 19.4, then this is a connector for this entire move, and it's going to go much lower, 0. So you have to stay above this low. We could label it as an impulse. For now, we'll label it in 3 waves and just keep going with the cycle until the market gives us an idea that it's peaked. But it's not something I'd like to trade personally. There's so many other better trades in crypto. All right, bull. Bull is, again, looks like we have an impulse down, straight down, and now we're trying to form a 3-swing move higher. Looks like we have 5 up, which is good. That means we should make another swing higher. So I do think this will make another swing higher. I see 5 down, which means we should do something like this. Lower and then higher. So you're in the middle area as a trader. I mean, if this isn't 5 and it's some other top, then you could just start to move higher from here. So it's tough to say how this will play out. This is a tough, but I do think, based on what I'm seeing, I'm just giving you my best, most conservative view. I think it's going to do something like this. Here's your wave 4. You tag your wave 4, and then you finish up the cycle. And then when this 3-wave move is done, since you have 5 down, it's likely to fail and go over. And I think this is a stock being pumped on the internet. So I think it's going to be okay, but I think at the end of the day, it's probably not a good thing. All right, and this XXI is essentially a go to 0 stock that I labeled, and it looks like we have one more cycle lower, and then it should end. And then you could see a massive pump, if it can still be in existence after this. So it's likely to break down. Could go to 208, 189 in this 5. But like I said, you can't rule out a 1-2, 1-2, and it just keeps accelerating down, right? You only have 3 up. It's not a setup. I would just expect more downside. Look for all the bullish divergence. You see that divergence there, here, here, and even here to some extent. But as you can see, there's a lot of bullish divergence. That divergence will eventually lead to a pump. And then, of course, it will collapse and go, just keep rinse, repeat, what it's been doing forever. So, okay, next is LPSN. Again, we called this right here. We're like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have a 3-wave move. 1, 2, 3. So that may be the low, right? That may be the low. That may be the low. So that may be it right there. Well, let's take a look. We have some divergence there, but that's a shorter cycle. See, the higher cycle we don't. So I think we don't, it hasn't reacted yet to be certain that's the low, but it's very close. The ideal spot for the low would be right at 80 cents though. Typically on a pattern like this, I see the market take it down between the 4 and the 2. It doesn't have to do it. So, I mean, is it going to come out of this? Will this pullback be wave 4 at ABC? It's an ABC right now. The question is the C done here or not? Not enough data. It could still push lower, but I think it's in C right now. Okay. Now it could turn into a WXY. So that's something you need to think about too. It could bounce and then do something like that also. So manage your expectations, right? How do you trade this? Well, you buy, you see the cycle end, you accumulate here, and then you wait. Well, if this doesn't happen, great. You made a massive pump. If this happens, well, guess what? You can buy more. And you play the long game. and you be patient. You accumulate. This is what smart money does. This is what professional traders do. They accumulate in here, and then they take all the gains, and then everyone chases up here. That's how it happens. But a lot of traders won't have the patience to accumulate in this zone. They won't. They'll want instant riches, and they just won't have the pay. But you have to be careful for the double correction, because look how long this cycle took, right? This could double correct. This could double correct, and get you to where we want to be here. This is where I love to be right around here, right there, somewhere in there, either straight down or something like that. I think it's not a 4. It's this pullback is you're correct in that whole move, this whole move. That's what happened, right? That's what happened. Let's take a look. IREN. I really like this one. I really like this one. Here we had 1 and 2. We have a 1 and a 2 and a 1 and a 2. On the shorter time frame, you have a higher high, and you're about to take the B out. Almost did that on Friday, even though the market was getting beat up. IREN, I don't even know how to say this company's name. I don't know this company, but I just know the chart. So we feel like I feel like it's going to come out, and we have a flat here, and we have a higher high on this cycle right here and here. So that should open up an extension to 22, taking this out, and that should open up to 28 or 29. Why 28 or 29? I believe that's the all-time high. So you probably get resistance there and get some kind of resistance, a pullback, and then go time. I really like this company, this chart, right? It's a good chart for now. So, but this wasn't really a clear setup. It was more of just kind of, taking some risk and buying at the end of this cycle here. And then you could have bought here. Now I think you want to just, now with the higher high here, again, it could be in a flat into. So we could still see something like this, right? Fine, right? Take advantage of that opportunity. I think this will break. This is going to break out. I see this is the area where it's going to get challenged more. Okay, somewhere in this area. Cypher looking good. Again, we're calling a flat on Cypher. We do see 5 waves up, indicating that that's likely to low. And now we should see a pullback in 2. It could take us down to 487. Okay, with 5 up, it should see another swing higher. Okay, that's what I'm looking at right now. And we want to stay above 455. If we break that, then obviously this would have had to been a WXY, an ABC, so a WXY correction, and then that would get you to that lower level, the 3s. So can it still held to the 3s? It's possible. It would take a meltdown probably in crypto to do it. We don't see indications of that, but perhaps there would be, and you would need to break this low on this pullback here coming up. But with 5 up, I always like to assume, the more obvious and not worry too much. Right, I could go 3WX and say, oh my God, it's going to crash. I would rather not do that. I'd rather buy this 2 with a stop here and play for this 3 than worry about a crash and don't do anything or hell short it, which would be kind of silly. Now, if you break this low, then on a rebound, you could try to short it down to 3, but I still probably wouldn't do it because you're still in a 2, you're still in a bullish instrument. So it's still counter trend trading. So that's like a very short-term strategy. Because the long term, again, looking at this, looks pretty good. 1, 2, it hit the box perfectly, perfect reaction. So it's very technical. And you have this consolidation, and we break out. Simple as that. And again, that would be a 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Right? So if it goes down to 3, what a gift the market would give you. But I don't think it's going to do that. I think we're in a flat here. Okay, a CPB. Looks like Campbell's is in a box. All right, Campbell's was tricky. So Campbell's, I had to go to a historic chart. I had to go to like the 6-month chart because it's been around that long to figure this out. Unfortunately, I'm calling this as an extended fifth wave here. The perma bears would love this. The perma bears actually call the indices like this, an extended fifth wave from the 2000 low. I mean, God help us if that's the case. The bad thing is I think this one, the chart for me supports it because we're breaking down on the grand super cycle here. Look, you broke. This is the 6 months. So this is telling you there could be years of consolidation and lows coming. You see this stochastic, it's wide open to the downside, but this is on the historic chart. This is on the 6 month. So this is telling you basically every rally is going to fail at some point. I think if this is an extended fifth wave, it's likely to do something like I'm showing here. We also see all the peaks here. That's the wave 3. That has to be the wave 3. This has to be the 3 of 5. This is the divergence. And then this is the lower low and the breakdown. So is 2 done? Is 2 done? Here. I mean, I don't want to rule. I don't want to say no, but I think it's highly unlikely. That's highly unlikely. What I think is going to happen is it is going to rebound. So I do think I think this is going to rally. I think this is going to rally. But I bet when you get up to this $40 area, it's going to get rejected for another swing lower at some point in the future. When is that going to happen? No telling. This market moves fast. Maybe it'll happen very quick like that. Maybe it won't. Maybe this X will consolidate for years of no money, dead money. I don't know. So I think this is Campbell's. I think from my point of view, if this is an extended fifth wave, we usually lose the whole 5. We've seen this on my channel so many times, losing the whole 5. So I'm just preparing you now, your expectation. Like, it should turn. So perhaps you can buy it and then just see what happens. And then when X plays out, great. And then if you get stopped out, okay, you get stopped out and then you can buy it again later. If you buy it again later, right, the target would be, well, what do you know? The wave 4 cluster right there. So it almost seems too textbook. We'll have to see if my channel's still around in 2035. We can come back and see if this is right or not. We'll see if this ended up being the right call or not. But I think it's going to bounce here. I think it's already started to. So I think this 3-wave move is done. So I think you're going to bounce. You're going to bounce. I think this is too optimistic to say. I think this is too. So I think you got to prepare yourself for that. But I wouldn't avoid buying it. I would just, because you could buy it here. This, you might as well play the X. What if the X goes higher, right? So I think you could play that X and start a position here. Why not? But I would just be careful to know, hey, it may come back. I may be underwater on that in the future. Don't know why. But I gotta go with that count. Okay, Campbell Soup. Copper, palladium. Yeah, okay, copper. Copper had a crash correction. Okay, big picture on copper. You have a 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay, you have these higher highs building. Okay, higher highs building. Okay, let's go to the quarterly. You see that? I don't particularly like. I wouldn't call this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, I wouldn't call it that. So, but anyway. It's irrelevant for what we're about to talk about. But anyway, we are correct in this cycle. Again, we talk about losing the 5. So the ideal buy would be right at $3.80. Right? That's the ideal buy. So right now we have a 3-wave move. It's ended. So either 2 is done, and we're about to see prices in copper go to levels we can't comprehend, or we're going to bounce like I'm showing here. Because we're probably going to make 5 up and do this ABC. And then we're going to have a decision. The market will either have a meltdown for the next leg lower, to 380, or it will moon. I don't know. So I think you should, if you want to speculate in copper, you buy it here and put your stop at 437. I think there's better ways to trade the copper market through the producers, but that's just me. But if you want to trade the commodity, that's how I trade it and let the market decide. And if you get the double correction, that would be the low right there. That would be the low somewhere down here. You can make the case this will happen because oil looks like it could go lower, and that usually takes it all down. But then I can make the case it won't happen. When I look at stocks like FCX, Southern Copper, Cleveland Cliffs, stuff like that, doesn't look like this would happen. So I don't know. Yes, you'll have to place your bets. This is the middle area. This is still not trending. Although if you get 5, you could play this little connector wave. And again, the connector can go even higher than I'm showing here, right? Which would raise the target if it double corrects. But since we did fall in 3, not 5, there's a possibility that 2's in. So keep that in mind. All right, palladium. Palladium broke down tonight, and we're going to see a triple. I think we're going to see a triple WX, YXZ, ABC. So we need, and hell, it may already be done, just to run the stops. This C is likely to finish still in the box. So again, if you're worried about this trade, right, there was a good setup here off of this low, but it denied that setup, so it morphed into a triple correction. It still has a lot of bullish divergence, so it's going to bounce. Like this cycle is going to correct and bottom. So if you're long in this area, you could decide, okay, I want to stop out, fine, stop out, go trade something else, or you can, hold through the box. Don't worry too much about the count, and then just get out on the reaction. It's going to react higher. This may already start to do that. This may have been just a little stop run here. So you guys have to decide how you want to manage your trade or not. Here, how you want to manage it. But this is how I look at it. If that is if that's going to go lower, it looks like we've already ended that cycle. We could it would have to do something like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this would have to end pretty soon. If not, then the market did this tricky little thing, and all the those nasty market makers, how dare they screw us like that? And but that's what they do, and that's why you gotta watch it. And as the data changes, you change. You have to adapt. So if you really want to stay long this, I would say my line. And if I was set on trading this on the long side, I would just hold through this and probably just have my stop at 1054, and then because the market should look I think you have the 4 hour, this divergent, this is going to play out, this is going to come out right now. The daily divergence, you don't really see it, but the 4 hour, you're seeing it. So it's going to come out. It's going to come out of this cycle. It's going to come out. Could it be 5 waves down from here? It's another possible path, right? Maybe. But it will react. And if it's 5 waves, then we're not going to get this 5. And then we only have 3, which means we only have 3. So that would be pretty bad. So once we react, we need to hold that low for 5. If we break that low, then we're looking at a capitulation move down here. So you got to understand what's going on. You got to be nimble. So this every day you're going to have to look at the data. If you're going to trade palladium, you're just going to have to keep an eye on it because it's at a pivotal moment for either the confirmation of a major low, grand super cycle low here, right, or breakout, or it's going to have a massive shakeout down here, and then it will so it's in it. So this is a tough one. You're going to have to really keep a close eye on it, how you want to trade it. I think it's a triple. I see no divergence on the higher time frames, which is what matters to me. So the lower time frame showing divergence tells me it could potentially be 5 waves down, which means it could bounce and fail, which would be pretty bad for this. But that would allow you, once we bounce, then okay, we have to stay above wherever that bounce, wherever we cross this downtrend line. So palladium's a lot harder. to trade than the others right now because we broke this low. If we didn't break that low, it'd be a lot easier. Unfortunately, we broke it. All right, HIMS. Another stock pumped all over the internet. Now they said Amazon's starting their own pharmacy and whatever, and now no one wants HIMS. But I look at the technical setup. I mean, I still see 5 waves up, a massive drop. Now, we never got to the wave 4 cluster here. All right, why do we care? Well, maybe we'll get there. But we have 3 here. See, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So we have to respect the possible flat, right? Possible flat down, and then you hit this wave. Then you hit the wave 4 cluster. So right now this is the box. It's super important. So the level that we need to really keep an eye on is right there. I need to change this box a little bit there. So right at 41. I think if you break 41, you have to label it as a flat. You want nothing to do with it because it's going to probably just come all the way back down. If not, this bullish setup is still valid. 1, 2, 1, 2, right? 1, 2. So it's like you're going to have to just decide. There's no real good way to know if it's going to do a flat or not. So I'm not you know, I bring it up. If you're aggressive, buy it, put your stop at 40, you know, this pivot here. Maybe you get this 3, maybe they make a deal with Novo or something and this thing moons, or maybe not. Maybe Amazon freaks everyone out and now they and then it turns into a flat and then something not good happens here. So I particularly, you know, I don't know. I'm not interested in trading because it's not clear to me. It can go either way. So you can decide how you want to play it. URA is also in a situation that could potentially turn into a flat, a deeper flat. So right now we have it as a running flat in this very bullish setup, which would show more upside coming. If we break below this 36 or $37 area, $37, C will extend, 2 will extend, and then you'll have a 1, 2, 1, 2, and you'll have some kind of capitulation flat, your wave 4 support. Look at all this chart support here. Boom. Look at that. So you somewhere down in here, it will, that's where it'll go. Somewhere down there. Right there. That's probably where it'll tag. And then we'll look to buy it again. We'll buy it again down there. Okay, so it's either going to be this or the more aggressive view. So you'll have to decide how you want to play that. But ultimately, the path is clear. It's higher, right? This is just day trader battle. If you happen to buy it down in these lower areas, and remember, I've been covering the URA for a while on my channel, especially down here. So you shouldn't do anything. But up here, right, you gotta be careful. But I wouldn't be surprised to see some kind of drop down here. So we have to prepare for that. Okay. CDE was another one that we did really well on our channel talking about. So we have a 1, 2. We hit this buy area, came up, called this another 1, 2, 1, 2, and that was the right call because then you got the 3. So now you have the 4s and 5s. I think your next area of resistance is somewhere around $15 and $16. And then it's likely to top for a big pullback after that. Can I rule out it just keeps accelerating higher? I can't, but as you can see, there's a lot of potential resistance here. My guess is you'll get rejected here. And then you'll consolidate, and then you'll come out for the next leg higher, ending up probably somewhere around 44 later in the years to follow. So I think it's something like this is coming, okay? Something like that. I can't rule out the acceleration, but I think this is the most likely path for now. Something like that, and then a pullback. Okay, MOWI. Still looking for another wave down. No divergence, so this could end at any moment. The box is here. Does that mean short it? I wouldn't short it because it's in the middle area still. So we have 5 up. So this move is still counter trend to the bigger picture. We know this is going to come higher. Now, we saw this dump. It did hit the 4. This 2 could be in. If that 2 is in, then it's not going to probably do what I'm showing. It's going to keep going. But the problem is I only see 3 waves up here. So that's why I'm looking for the double correction. Now, if we can take this high out, it negates the bearish view. So I would just be on the sidelines. I'm not saying to short this or do anything. The bigger picture is higher. Eventually, it's coming higher. If you can take out this high, then you put the 2 there, and then you have to label it as some kind of 1, 2, or ABC. Or you know what? I would label it as a 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. And then it's 3 of 3. So you see what I'm saying? So I think... I think you have a couple possible paths. We just don't know which one yet. But the bigger picture is higher. So again, if you get too cute trading in and out, the market will just blow and you'll miss it. And then if you decide to, put your whole stack in thinking you're going to be rich, the market's going to do that. That's what the market does, right? So this is why I wouldn't trade in this area. But I think until you take that high out, you have to anticipate a double correction potentially or something. So take the high out, we change the view. OPUL, Opulus. Let's see. I don't think I did that one yet. Oh, I did. Yeah, I must not have it on here. All right. So this one. Looking at, again, you have a lower low, you have all these lower lows. So it's a very bearish coin, right? Typically, when you get these lower lows, it's a go to zero coin. And literally, we've seen them go to zero, like Luna and all these other. So you got to be careful what you're trading. It looks like, though, we have 5 down here. We made a connector. And now we need at least another 5 down. So I still think there's more downside coming. We just broke this kind of top, and you're kind of trying to back test it. I think you'll get rejected. I think it's going to have to finish this, and if it's still in existence, it will have then a big reaction higher potentially. But I would be looking more to short this than anything if it has a bigger pop. So. But I think, see how you have 3 up, so that 2 could be done here. Now, if it goes any higher, then you're still in this 2, and it's in an A, B, C, but I only see 5 waves, so I don't think that would work. So I think this is the count. Perhaps this 2 could push higher. This is what I'm looking for. All right, Devon Energy. Devon Energy is really tricky right now. So what we do know about Devon Energy, it's still in the downtrend until you break above $38, $39. We do know oil's got a capitulation move coming at some point. So I'm labeling it like this for now. The problem is we have a lower low. A lot of the energy markets do not have this lower low. They do not have this lower low like this. This kind of sequence. It looks very different. A lot of them did bottom in April, but they did not bounce. They kind of went into the low. This one bounced prematurely and then failed, so it trapped people early. And I believe that's why you're going to get this kind of shakeout here. So I think right now I'm just going with this more bearish view because I just can't convince myself that's the bottom. I just can't convince myself. So I want to see 5 up, ABC for 1, 2, ABC for 3, 4, ABC for 5. We hit this trend line, and then we get rejected for the final leg lower. That's what I think is going to happen. I can be wrong. I hope I'm wrong. But again, bigger picture. We know we have 5 up from the major low. So in the future, if we could go into a time machine and to 2028 and 29, I'm confident we're going to be up in this pink box. but you're going to have to figure out how you're going to manage your money through this mess. To get to that prize isn't easy, and a lot of traders won't be able to get that prize. So good luck. But once we break this downtrend line, if we were to break through that, it'd be too strong of a push. We would just have to call the 2 in, right? And then this would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 1, 2, 1, 2 out. Could be so many things. So this is going to be the moment of truth right here. And then we'll see what happens with Devin after that. Okay? I just can't label a low looking at the way this bottomed. I can't do that. I just can't get myself there. No matter how much I think it's already so oversold here, I still think it could probably make another low and then bottom here. But I would be looking to buy. And again, if you're a long-term investor, you should be buying here. If you're an investor, you should be buying here and here and here and playing the long game. And then 3 or 4 years from now, you'll be like making bank and you'll be happy. That's how I would look at this situation. If you're a trader, this isn't something I would really want to trade. If you have a trader's view, go trade something else. Good Lord, this is not something I'd want to trade. As an investor, hey, we need to start buying this because again, could that be 2? It could be, but I don't think it is. But maybe you start a small position here, just a small one, and then you can buy more here and then buy more here, right? And then you just play the long game. Your cost basis will be somewhere around 20. If it does that, the worst case 22, and then you got a great position for the next cycle higher when this eventually comes out of this funk it's in. Okay? It's likely to do that with the 5 waves up and the higher high on top of it. So it's highly likely. So again, that's how I look at this. Energy you're buying for years from now. You're not buying it as maybe a trade. It may work out. Long-term investors need to be looking at energy right now. And solar, and now it looks like solar even. I don't think it's like good trade. Like there are some good trades that may be setting up, but I think long-term investors need to be looking at the energy market right now. The energy market reminds me of what URA, the GDX were 2 or 3 years ago. No one wanted it. You beat down. Same type of thing. And it may go lower if oil has that bigger capitulation move. Fine. Be prepared for it. But I do think the producers are going to hold the low, the April low. Not all of them are going to break it. Let's keep going to WGS. Let's keep going to WGS here. All right. Looks like almost looks like a go to zero, but it recovered. It's in a new bull market with a higher high. So we can just call the low in. It looks like 3 waves. So we just can, obviously we can call that low in, and then we made the higher high. So now you have another, that's a really good indication, right, of where we could be going with it. That looks like the 3 and 4, right? So this is very textbook impulse with a big extended third wave, Probably some kind of flat there. So this is one you just need to hold. Right? Look at that. That's it. Likely to see more upside. If it pulls back, you can buy it in 3 waves. Should see somewhere around $220 at least on this next swing or higher. What does it do? Some medical company? Yeah, I don't know. Some medical AI company or something. I don't know. Genetic genome testing. Well, it is what it is. I guess investors really want it. I think it's pretty bullish. So I would just say from this low, it looks pretty good. Now this shorter cycle, right? We can kind of label it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for another 1, 2, 1, 2. So yeah, I mean, to me it looks We'll have to see where the 5 is. Yeah, probably. And put it here. Have to put it there. So there you go. Pretty straightforward. All right, next is Novax. We are saying we need to see that high taken out in Novavax, and we did. All right, so now we could start to buy the dips in this. I don't know why it's bullish. I mean, I thought no one's getting the COVID vaccine anymore, but I guess maybe some people are. So you have 5 up here. Let's look at the higher time frame, making a 3. So it's probably your first wave 3 coming to an end soon. So we're going to see something like that. So let's take a look, bigger picture. Would that be 3 up? Unlikely. Yeah, I mean, I think it's bullish. I think this is the low. Now, that's the low. So now if you get 3-wave pullbacks, you can try to buy it. Does that mean, oh my God, I'm going to buy it now, the whole stack, I'm going to be rich? No, you don't do that. That's stupid, right? That's stupid, but I know people will do it. Wait. I would personally wait for this 2-wave and then maybe take a look at it and just wait. But who knows? You may not get it. I don't know. Again, I don't know why it's bullish. I thought no one gets the COVID vaccine anymore, but I guess apparently enough people do, or something, or something else is going on for them. Okay, so I'm looking for something like this. Now, what I don't like is how this wave 3 has overlapping waves within the 3. That some people don't like that. That violates some, the kind of the extension in 3. So you could also label this as another 1-2, which would be more bullish with a pullback to 729. So if you get that pullback to 729, that's probably where you could try to dip buy it against 633, and then you could go to a 1-2, 1-2. If not, you get a shallow pullback in 4, and you finish this cycle like this. And then you get to pull back into later. Or you get another 1-2, 1-2 from here. So a lot of possible paths. But over $5, no bull market for now. Under $5, it's lights out for this company. It's lights out. Their charts screwed. All right, MSOS is, again, we've been calling this right on the channel. We picked the right resistance. So it hit the resistance, got rejected hard. I think it's going to have a hard time getting through this. And it's either going to NC the major cycle. And if it does, guess what that means? All the way back down. If it doesn't, we're going to top. We're going to pull back to the wave 4 cluster. And then it's going to be a massive move higher. So obviously this is going to be about Trump and what he decides, right? So if Trump legalizes it or whatever he does, you're going to get this. If he doesn't, you're going to get that. So that's all I can say. I'm not going to say any more to it because you're going to have to own your own decision on this. I think a lot of money is going to be made or lost in this stock from people not managing it right, and I'm not going to be responsible for it. So you guys are going to have to decide how you want to trade it. Now, we got in on it long at 220. We followed this whole thing down. Most people have doubled their money or more. You should have taken some profit, and now you have to make a decision. Do I let the rest ride? Do I take it all out? What do I do? It's a personal decision, but I'm telling you, this is your resistance. Now, we could see this gap fill here and then see the rejection, but once this C ends, it's 5 waves up and ends. There's no guarantee for the next swing. So you just got to understand that. Right? The money has been made off of this low. Right? If you're just picking up now, you're kind of late on this cycle. Now, I do think Trump, whatever he decides, will be the next, will be the catalyst for either this move or a bigger pullback. And you just have to, I guess only Trump knows what he's going to decide, or maybe some insiders know. But this is it. This is the chart for now. I do think we'll recover from this initial drop in 4, though. I think. Now, let's say we don't recover, we just come all the way back down. Well, actually, that'd be interesting because then we could be in another 1-2, 1-2, right? Because we need to top in 5 with divergences and all that. We can't top in 3. So it would be more painful in the short term, but much better in the long term to actually have that happen if it were to do that. So that's also a possibility. End phase, you would think, would be rallying with the solar market. I think it started to. So I have it. Yeah, we need to put the 2 here. So again, I mean, this thing's been really erratic. I wanted to see a little more downside. But it's been correcting in 5 for a long time. I mean, I could label that 5 of 5 as an end in diagonal and probably call it finished. So I think the best way to look at this is when that trend line breaks. When this trend line breaks, it's over. It's bottomed. So you may want to wait for a bigger reaction. You may not catch the low, and then you know that's it. And it's the major low. Right? It just keeps extending from this top in this A, B, in this W, X, Y, A, B, C. So this keeps pushing lower. I mean, it's way overdue. Way bearish. But timing the low is tough. I mean, again, if I'm just trying to label it the way I see it here. And maybe I'm off a little bit, but I think once you break that downtrend line, it's done. The bottom's in. So I don't know if I think I personally would wait for more confirmation of the low, even if I missed the exact bottom, than trying to bottom fish it. But you can do what's best for you. Bull. Let's take a look at that one. Yeah, I have it in this pattern. We have 5 down, 5 up, A, B, C, C, something like that. So the reason I have it doing this double correction is since I see 5 down here. That's the reason. So maybe more upside and then another drop. So something like that is what I'm thinking. I do think this high will get taken out. And then after that, it's likely to since that's 5 down, it could lose all of it. So something like that. But it can do bigger 3 waves. So I think for now, this is how I would look at it. I do see 5 up, but I see 5 down. So you should see 3 up, and then another pull. You need an A, B, C. Okay, thanks again, Gene. Yeah, I'm doing okay. Recovering. Riot. We can't rule out the double correction in Riot. I think it's really up to what Bitcoin's about to do in the next couple of trade-in days. If we're going to double correct or not. We are correcting this whole cycle. We have 3 waves. So this could be the low here. We only have really a reaction here. We don't even have... So we don't... The good thing is we're finding support on the downtrend line, which is good. We're not inside of it, but we can't rule out a dupe or 2. If it does a double correction, you'll have a great opportunity to go long if you miss this move, right? It would take it down to 746. So I think we don't know. It's up to Bitcoin. I wouldn't. Again, everything's been going more bullish than bearish lately. If not, it's in a 1-2, 1-2. I think we'll know probably by the end of the day tomorrow where this will go. So bigger picture. We have 5 up, 1, 2, 1, 2. Again, back testing the downtrend, and we come out. I'd rather stay long, play the long game on crypto, not worry about these shorter cycles, because the big picture, these are major bottoms here, and they're showing 5-wave sequences higher. MSOS I just covered, so hopefully you heard that. TMF. TMF is a problem because it's in the middle area, and bonds I'm not recommending trading because it's in a very congested area that can break either way. So I don't have good insight. I'm still going with this initial forecast here, which would mean TNF would fall, right? Would go down, not up. So it would be something like this. Okay. If that doesn't happen and we break down, well, then the B is in here. And then TMF would do really well, right? TMF would be a good buy. So it's really a 50-50 crapshoot here. It's like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. I mean, it is bonds. They're super confused. Bond trade. It's super confusion in the currency market, bond market right now. They're not trending. They're trying to figure out where are we going. Where are we going? I still have this chart. I don't know if this will play out. Now, if we come up to this box, yeah, buy the TLT, TMF, because that would be good. Because I think it will do so. I think the market's going to do something funky like this. Perhaps this is when it's like, oh my God, let's lower rates. And then it's like, oh no, what did I do? Inflation, oh my gosh. And then it's the end of the grand super cycle. So I think that's kind of what I've always thought, you know, trying to think about it a little bit, but I'm not making trading decisions on that, right? I'm not a chess player trader. I'm not going to, but I think about the markets a little bit like that just to see. But I do think that this is what I'm thinking. Now, if we break below this 4765, well, then I think the B's in, and then I think you can maybe buy TMF speculatively, but I'm not. I mean, that would be a total aggressive trading call to do that, and you'll be playing for this drop. So let me go to TMF, and we can look at it real quick together here. See what we have here. So see, yeah, we have this box here. We've been waiting for this box. We've had this box on since September 2024, guys. I mean, this is how long we've been waiting. This is what I'm talking about, being patient as a trader. Are you that patient? I'm that patient, right? That's why a lot of my trades are winning, because I'm patient. I wait and wait and wait. And if it doesn't happen, okay, I'll go to something else. All right, it wasn't meant to be. I'll go trade something else. I'll go trade, you know, and that's my mindset when it comes to trading. So here, there. So look for that, 29, 28, and you could try to speculate in TMF right here and try to play that reaction. But I wouldn't fall in love with it because I do think it's a ticking time bomb. Now, if the ticking time bomb is already here, God help us all, because then rates are going, then the grand super cycle's over. The perma bears are right. If that happens, the perma bears are right. The grand super cycle's over. And there's no more highs, and we're all wrong. I mean, that's seriously, I don't see how the market can survive interest rates going into the double digits on the long term. The whole economy would collapse if that happens. I don't think it will. So that's why I think this will allow the market to extend, the bull market to continue. If we keep going, if the interest rates keep going higher, and that this doesn't happen, right? If this doesn't happen, and the 30-year does not find support here, and we start the next cycle higher, right? I mean, good Lord, we're in a lot of trouble. I mean, we're in a lot of trouble. The country is in a lot of trouble. The general public has no clue of the shitstorm that's coming if this breaks out. I mean, we're talking 10.5% on the. This will be a historic buys on fixed income coming in our lifetime, like our great grandparents got back in the 70s. Like, we're going to get some historic longs in fixed income eventually in our future, right? To load up on bonds if you still have cash around to take advantage of it. But right now, I don't think it's going to happen like that. I just don't think the market's ready, because if the market does that, I think the market's got to crash, guys. And I mean crash like it will be panic like we've never seen. I think even a sovereign debt crisis a country being downgraded. So the 10-year would be at 10.5. I mean, good Lord, it would be something. But I don't think so. But I do think that day is coming, though. I hate to say it, that day is coming. But I think we have a temporary repeat. It's gonna, help us out here. So this is my 10-year chart. So something like that. And again, if we break down, then the B is in. right? And then we'll hit this level. I'll change it. But we're not interested in trading bonds on our channel. All right, XRP. XRP, again, we've done pretty well with it. Here, again, we accumulated here, played the long game. That played out, played the long game again. That played out. Our final target's coming up. Now, we double corrected here. Everyone hates that, but it made sense because here's your wave 4. You hit your wave 4, so you did a double correction. Now you're coming out of it, and let's see what happened here. So we did not make 5. Okay, we did not make 5 up. So what is going on here? Let's take a look. Only 3. You definitely erased divergence here. So this is the low. It's actually a triple. It's not a double correction. It's a triple. So you triple correct it, and now you're coming out. A little divergence. So you have like, you can barely see it, I think. From that peak to that peak. So you do have it. So you do have, I mean, you do have it. And again, there's no rule that says these subdivisions have to be, you know, very beautiful, but they you know, this would be the label. Let's take another look. Yeah. No, I don't know. That's too close. No, I'm not going to do that. It's not it. Even when you look at those subdivisions, you only get 3 up. So I can't get a 5. Are we moving? Oh, we're moving in Y. Well, yeah, maybe now maybe it makes more sense to me. So we're moving in 3-wave moves. Okay, so I made a mistake. I didn't see that. Okay, so now it makes a little more sense. Yeah, so let's see. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Wonder if that could be a flat here off of this peak. Yeah, that's what we'll do. That's how we'll label it. We'll have to label this as a 1, and we'll come down here, and then we'll come out, and then this will be a flat. This is the only way I can get the label to work. And then this is something like that. That's probably what's going to happen. Okay, and then you come out. All right, so the final target, which we've had this target on, actually I think for many years on my channel. Now, we will look at divergences when we get here and see, and then we can assess if we'll extend or not, or we'll get a big pullback here. So we don't know. I don't know what to say, how you want to trade it, but this has always been the target for a long time on our channel. It does see if we still see that divergence, then it's going to go higher. We need to see when we finish that Y, it's got to be the highest RSI we've ever seen. We have to take that peak out. If we haven't taken that peak out, we'll extend, and then we'll move the target higher. So we'll have to just wait and see how this plays out. So it can go higher. It can go higher, but it will end in a massive squeeze, a massive mania top, just like it did back in the day, back in 2017 or whatever. SMR is in a box. We looked at URA. If URA is likely to extend its flat, this will likely do the same thing. So right now we have this in a 4 here. Again, this is a conservative view. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pullback. It could be a 1, 2, 1, 2. When I look here, ABC, you have the 4 and a 5. So this is the area it should turn. But since it isn't a flat, it can always go a little deeper. So there's no real good setup, but I do think it's going to go higher. Now, could this be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we get a bigger pullback? I don't think it is, personally, but I think this is how I want to label it. Yeah, see the peak here way early. I may even need to label it as a 1, 2, 1, 2, but then if I do that, everyone's going to get too aggressive and get their hopes up. So I'm trying to be conservative with the view, but it could easily be another 1, 2, 1, 2 here. So this is kind of what I'm thinking right now. But this is conservative view for now. Okay? Poet. Poet. Okay. Poet, we have the low, a pivot. I'm not sure. We must have looked at this before. Real erratic kind of pattern. 3, 3, 3. I'm not sure why I'm showing it labeled that way. Oh, we made a lower low. That's why. So, yeah, I think you could just play it higher for now. I would just play this C leg from this low, and that's been the right call, right? We're likely to take that peak out. Almost did here. So, yeah, there's enough bullish divergence here. There's probably some kind of extended fifth wave. Maybe, let's see here. Or maybe we'll do it like a lead in diagonal. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Yeah, maybe we'll do that. And then, so if it double, see how we hit the 4, so it may not come back down, but we only see 3 up. So if it double corrects, you'll have a buy opportunity on it at 296, 186 if it double corrects in that box. If it were to come back down here. If not, it'll make a 5. Right? It could do this. And that's probably 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's probably, so it's either going to do that and pull back again, and you know, so I think as long as you're above this low, the dips in 3, you could try to buy them, and you made 5 off the low. Alternative view, I don't see a bearish view, so I think this is the view. So something like this for now. If we should see it continue to push higher. And then, but we can't rule out a double correction. Okay? Thanks, Aldridge, for your shout out. I appreciate that. Crocs is one we've stayed away from. People used to ask me about this all the time. We saw us said, oh, it's going to break down. Don't go near it. And that's what's happened. And there's our target. Again, we're very patient. I've had this target. I think this target came on, I don't know. Where did I put it on? Somewhere back in this area. I don't even remember why I did, but I think it was, what was it here? I think it was this low, breaking that low right there. So I must have, I'm trying to remember why I put it on, but anyway, I have this target on here. Yeah, I think it could go there. Let's finish the labeling. Let me update the labeling. Right, something like this is what I'm thinking. Maybe it will truncate. Maybe it'll truncate. It's likely to bottom out. Yeah, so anyway, so we have this pattern, WXY, WXY, WXY. So that's what I'm looking for. So once this low breaks, it can bottom at any moment. This is the extreme area. We do have a lot of chart support here. So maybe it won't make it down. Again, I'm just going to try to draw through some of these points here. So maybe somewhere around there. Not perfect. You know, that must probably like, well, we went too far, came back. So right there. So there you go. Something like that. So behaving, this breakdown confirms like we probably have the right view. The bearish view was right on Crocs. UPST. Upstart Holdings. What is going on here? So we knew we had the 3, 4, and 5. It looks like we were worried about a double correction, but maybe it did happen right there. Let's take a look. So it looks like we did not get the double correction. Or if we did, it was like right there. Let's look closer. Let's go to the monthly. Yeah, I don't think so. I think we'll just kind of put the 2 there. Put the 2 there. So we just did, yeah, just didn't double correct. Right, 5. And again, could it overlap? In my, you know, look at this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So maybe it's more like this because I saw the cycle reset. So it's like that. And then this whole cycle got corrected there. And now it's trying to come out. And then it's correct in this cycle. And now it's in this too. Yeah, I mean, it could bottom at any moment. So we don't have a connector to base it off of, so it could always double correct, but my guess is it's probably going to bottom at any moment and continue higher. So that's the count I would go with for now on that. Okay. BA for Bowen. So Bowen has a interesting setup here, right? We saw this 5 waves up, right? And we're like, hey, it's got to come back and take out 243.92. It's trying to do that. Could still be, though, an extended 5th wave. This is really tough. I mean, I would love to not be so bearish on this, okay? I would love not to be. I think you need to take out this level. I think that's the line in the sand for the bear case right there. Until then, I think it's just in this middle area, this flag or whatever you want to call it. And you have a lower low here. So I would rather wait for better confirmation of the low in case you're going to get this Y wave later. So I think it looks like this wasn't a deep enough pullback. So it's if it moves, it'd still be moving in 5 off of this low. So it'd be like an extension in 5. It looks like it's going to head somewhere up to there and do something like that. Again, if it takes out that high though, this high wherever it is, then I believe it's negated. The bear case is negated at that point. Okay, and then you would put the 2 here. You would have maybe 1 ABC for 1, 2 ABC for 3, 4 maybe, or or you do a 1 2 1 2. Just it doesn't work for me. It just doesn't work for me. Anyway, it is what it is. That's what I'm saying. This is what I would do. A good luck. I think it's you know, for now I would want to get more confirmation to lows in, even if I'm missing some of these before I would buy Bowen. All right, HE. Looks like we had this 5-wave move higher that ended, and now consolidate it back down. Held the low. Capitulation. So I think it's good to say 1 2, and now it's trying to come out, and see that looks like 5 off the low. Right? Something like that. I'll leave it unlabeled. It could be a lot of things here, a lot of congestion, but you get the idea. I think it's coming out. It's bottoming out. So it's coming. It's going to come out of this. I think it's in a 1 2 1 2, and this could go a lot of different ways, but I believe it's coming out of this pattern. And that's probably, and that was a major capitulation. It held the low, so I think it should build higher from here. All right, Wendy's was another one I think we kept everyone out of. We definitely did. Could need one more low. One more low. I think this is one I've been asked about before. Let's look for chart support if we have any. Oh, we were looking for a flat. Maybe it hasn't gone deep enough, but it could be a run-in flat. Yeah, we have a 1 2 1 2. You know, maybe you can get support here at right there, 860. Right there. So that's the target. That's probably the most extreme area. I could see it hitting and bouncing. If it even can make it there, you're going to see a lot of divergences as 5 plays out. Higher time frame, we shouldn't see it, but we'll have to go to the monthly. Yeah. So, all right. So I think it's almost capitulated, but a little bit more. I can't rule out an extension. We never can. A more elegant flat would come back down to the A low. I just don't know if it's going to make it all the way down there. But this played out exactly as expected. Exactly as expected. And now buyers have to step in here, right in this area. Okay? So ABNB, we have that in a trader's box. That should be bouncing. See, it's already turned. I gave this update a while ago. I think I've even shown this at some point to lead members. But this is just a trade, right? This is in 3 is a trade. There's no trend. This is like a dead area. So this is just a trade up to 160, and then who knows? Now, if we can break 170.86, well, then maybe you have a much bigger move coming. But it's a trade. It's hitting the box. It's reacting. Now, if this were to fail, now maybe it's going to trend lower, right? So it's not trending. The market hasn't decided the trend yet, since really it's IPO and it's just kind of staying sideways. But this is the reaction here. I'm looking for a C, and then possibly another 3 down, and then another 3 out, and it just will do that until we take out one of these highs or lows. AMAT was in a connector wave that broke down on earnings. I didn't see 5 waves up on AMAT. We had a low, nice reaction, but only in 3. Unless I'll look at it one more time. You see So it's either this or the unthinkable. It's a connector, and they're going to break this low. So I would prefer not to trade it. We are correct in the cycle from October 22. Now, we only bounced in 3 waves, and this is a pretty harsh breakdown. So let's look at, let me get rid of this out of here. All right, so what I'm looking for, that box is valid for here. So if it were to break down and double correct, it retests the low. So if you break 153.29, I think you have to look for the double correction. If you can hold it, you may be able to talk yourself into like a 1, 2, 3, 4, or you could be a leading diagonal trying to come out of this, and then this is some kind of 1, 2, and it does something like this, leading diagonal. So it's also possible. It would bounce. If it's going to bounce, it would bounce pretty soon. So we'll know pretty soon what's going to happen. It should bounce right around here. So it needs to bounce now. If it keeps breaking down, then I would be looking for the double. So I wouldn't trade it here. I would just wait and see what happens. There was a trade here, obviously, but now with that low break, you know, I would have, if I was in that trade, I would have moved my stop up here. With that low break, I'd be out. The market may not take it higher anymore. And we'll have to just see what happens. So it is what it is. I'd be surprised if the low breaks. Maybe it will do a lead-in diagonal coming out. Maybe it will do something like this. But we don't know for sure. Newegg is just continuing to pump higher, right? And again, it was one of those ones. It was when I first started my channel. I gave everyone that trade, and it keeps extending. Probably a 3 of 5. You're probably still in 3 of 5, so it's probably still going to keep going higher. And so it's still extending. You're still, you know, you see where the 3 is. See, I don't like, I mean, I don't want to label it too bullish, but I mean, it could still be 1, 2, 1, 2. Yeah, I mean, that changed. That was the whole cycle right there. But that, you know what, we really can't label that as a 3 anymore. We have to label it as 1, 2, 3. We'll have to label it something like that. So I think it's going to have more upside. It's going to keep extending. Dip buy. Don't see a connector. So that 4 needs to hold. Now, if that's a connector, there is a dip buy. And that dip buy is at 62.47. So, and that would become, it would morph into a different structure. But it would bounce from there. But I don't think that's going to happen, to be honest with you. I think it's just going to keep, it's going to finish this impulse, and that will be that. That will be that. All right, CCL. Let's take a look here. Put that 2 there. We already broke the high. Very, very bullish. We'll start in wave 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Race divergence. So actually we should probably label it like this. Yeah, we would label it as another 1, 2 here. And now in 5, that wouldn't be 3. It'd probably be another 1, 2. So something like this. Look at all that bearish diverge. So this is going to top soon and going to have a big pullback coming. But that'll be buyable once again when it happens. Maybe somewhere down here, and then you'll have even a bigger move out. So I'll be looking for something like this. That 4 could be done. It could be a 1, 2, 3, 4, one more high even. So something like that. If it double corrects, you can look to buy the higher degree 4. So there's a couple possible paths, but I think it's something like this is coming. We definitely want to buy that too, right? With the higher high, whenever it happens. Whenever you get this bigger pullback, we want to buy that. Okay. So then EONR. So there was that whipsaw, but the whipsaw got negated. So that means that's a major peak right there. So this is going to just continue to drift lower. So this is another one of these just go to zeros that this ended up correcting that whole move. It looks like to me now you need to trace out 5 waves down from here. And let's just take another look. Yeah, this 5-wave move is done. So my guess is it's probably going to do, since that was such a big corrective move here, 1, 2, and just kind of melt down like that. And then at some point it will end and do the same type of consolidation. Again, I don't think it's going to rally hard from here. Now it could come back up to this 38 area, but there's a lot of resistance now. It's going to likely get rejected. A lot of people will come in and short it here on this back test. A lot of people are going to short it here. And you may be one of them that may want to do that. But I'm not. That's not my system. That's just kind of classic trading, right? So I think that's what I'd be looking for. And then when this 5-wave move ends, it'll have a big rally. All right. I did CDE already, so you have that. CDE already did that one, so hopefully you heard it. D. Dominion breaking out, higher high. Looks like you're in 1, 2. One, 2, 3. So you're still in wave 3. So I think you still have more upside coming. Right? You have these 4s and 5s to play out. And I would be buying any dip in 3 waves. This is in a major 1, 2, 1. This is going to. This has a lot of. This is a very bullish instrument, Dominion. Okay, PayPal. All right, let's see here. This has that irregular bottom that I particularly do not like. So if we were to break 56, it's game over. So what I see is 3 up, and then see I saw this as a low. I see 3 and 3. So this is a very bad stock to trade. I personally would stay away from this chart. Let me look at it real quick. C, B, A. So maybe that's the low. Well, I'll come back and look. Yeah, so right here. So there's a low. W. So either X is here and it's about to do this, or we're still in B and we'll do that later, or we're still in X. You see why I don't want to trade this? This is not something I'd ever want to trade because it's just too many possible paths. And to get a good forecast on it, it's really tough. I'll give you my best take on it. Since it does move with crypto, I'll go with something like this. Since crypto's going higher right now. So we'll go with this for now. We'll go with this count for now. So I think it could come back up here, or even higher, something like that. All right, open. We called that low in, and that was the right call. And we should be just continuing higher. Right, we're not guessing a double correction. Now look, you could double correct. There's always a possibility because we only have 3. Now if we make this 5, then there is no double correction. We even see some divergence, but that's 15. We need to go to the 45. So yeah, no divergence. So my thinking is we see a 5 and we'll get a 2 and it'll keep going. If we don't, it's going to double correct. And then we'll just come back down. So I don't know. I don't want to make that assumption, and we just assume the cycle ended, and I think we just keep plugging away at this like that with this chart. ETHU, my problem with ETHU is Ethereum could be topping in a 5 here, and then that would be a big pullback coming in this ETHU. So Ethereum could be correcting this entire move. And we could come all the way back down to 31.92. We have a lot of bearish divergences at these peaks here on these charts on the daily. So it could be a 5. Now, how deep is this 2 going to go? We don't know. We could lose the 4. This is a lot of resistance. This could be just, we peaked above resistance and we'll get slammed back down real quick. So just you got to manage your expectations on ETHU. Again, that move is come and gone, but it will come back again. Right, but I think you got a pullback coming. I will be shocked to see this just blow through this and keep going, or make this a 1-2. I would be shocked. So I've been looking for a bigger pullback, and we could see. Let's put our first box on here. 41.58, 4100, somewhere in here. Now it could bounce and fail. Or that could be the 2. So we just don't know yet. So ETHU is kind of in that situation where it may not be a good idea to be buying it right now. There could be a big pullback coming, right? So we have 3 down. Good, right? We like 3 down and then it ended. And now we have 3 up. So what's going to happen? I don't know. We have to wait and see. It could be... I have a little divergence there. All right, so we need to label it a little different. Label it a little different. That's okay. So it's labeled mirrors Ethereum's count, basically, which is, I guess, good. Extended 5th, right? What does that mean? It means it will come higher later, but it could be pulling back soon. So we could see a pullback. So again, look for that too. Could come back down to 102. But this will be buyable. Likely to come out. Likely to come out. And maybe you can pick it up again here. But I have a feeling that one's probably in. But if we haven't... Again, it could still keep extending, but I have a feeling that one's in. We're going to pull back in 2. Okay, U is, I think, close to finishing a major cycle. That's another one. We pretty much chart it perfectly. buys. I mean, we even pinpoint our entry. And now the easy money is about to end. And then you're going to have a big pullback. But that's okay because that'll be another buying opportunity. So I don't know, how you want to label this 5, how this is going to play out, but you're topping now. And then you're going to pull back. So perhaps you'll get another chance to buy it at $30. Maybe you won't. But the opportunity to buy it probably is coming on with this coming out of the box. Unless you get this 2 and get a big 3-wave move down. So I'll be looking for something like this. Something like that. Okay? And then we break out of this big pattern. So something, see that? That's what's probably coming. That's what's probably coming. Sideways. And then this cup, this little right shoulder. I'm sorry, yeah, inverse head and shoulders, this right. Yeah, right side here. SQQ, I don't really trade the SQQ, but the triple Qs are showing that the market's probably likely to extend. We're seeing that tonight. And then have a pullback. So the SQQ is likely to make another low, make a bigger put, but then it's likely, so the SQQ I think is a bad buy. It's a bad buy. But you can buy it if you want to. I mean, I'm not going to stop you because you will make money on this too when this happens. But it's likely to continue higher. And you have a VIX telling you that the same thing is happening. You made a lower low on this VIX here. So even if we rally higher, it's likely to break down, even go even lower now. So again, the SQQ is not a good trade. I mean, I personally would not want to buy that thing right now. But you could get that too. If you get that too, that would be a good idea if you're nimble enough. Looking at it, that's the major peak, right? We want to trace 5 waves down from there. 1, 2. So you already corrected the cycle. You may have already corrected the cycle. That's why this could be a really bad buy. So that's probably your 3 here, right there. And then that's your 5. Right, look, boom, pop, and now you made a lower low. I mean, this could be, and again, I'm not a perma bull, but this could be that. Now, we could still be in this too, which I more than likely will do this. This is probably what's going to happen. Probably what's going to happen with the SQQ. It's probably going to do something like this. Something like that. And then do something like that. That's what I'm thinking it's going to do. If not, then we're wrong on our forecast, because then what that means is this is just going to, this too isn't happening. It's just gone. It's going higher. So I don't think that's the case. So I think to line it up with our count, we have to look at 2 kind of being erratic. Something like, so just understand that. But I believe you do have 5 down, so you probably are going to keep going down. At least another swing to make it 3, at least make it 3 down, then you could have a bigger reaction higher. But so you already had the big move here. That move almost corrected this whole thing. Look at that. Isn't that insane? Now, what's interesting on the grand super cycle is this pattern on the RSI. This is telling you the grand super cycle is a ticking time bomb, because I do believe the monthly in the next year or two, or at some point, I don't know when exactly, right? We say when Trump leaves, but at some point, that's going to do that. This is going to break out. That's going to happen, but I don't think that's going to happen right now. Okay, that weekly cycle, this weekly cycle's got to probably reset It almost did. Look, it's almost down. So maybe it's not as much more bullish in the market than we think. So maybe Trump will still be president when this thing falls apart. But I think this still has more downside to come. But this will be in this too. Perhaps when this is all finished, then that's it. That's it. And that probably will be the top of the market, right? That would probably be the top. That would be up here, right? And that'll be that. So look for SQQ in that too. I appreciate it, guys. ALTS. Another like go to zero, but we'll label it bullish from that low. That's what we usually do on the go to zeros. All right. A lot of divergence. So either we have a massive extended fifth wave or something much more bullish is developing here. We have that lower low. I'm just going to go with the obvious, although my RSI doesn't support this. It supports a more bullish forecast, but I think this is the more likely view, especially with the lower low. And then we have a potential dip buy right around here. May have already dipped, and dip may be over before it even started. The computers beat you to it. But that's the box. So if it goes down into there, you could try to buy it. There's your way forward. The ideal entry would be $3. But it's likely to make another swing higher. At least. Right, but it did have a lower low, so it may come down to $3. You got to be careful about that. But it's likely to find support here. Okay, TCHP and gold. Blue chip growth ETF. Well, that 2 is here. Now we're in the 3. Right? So everything's happening according to plan. There's your wave 4 cluster. You hit that. Look at that. All that chart support too. Boom. Textbook. Now it's out. But now where is it going to go from here? So we have to go. Let's take a look. Just kind of get it close to 0 there. Just give us an idea. So that's a big extension, right? That says, oh my gosh, man, Amazon and all these things, NVIDIA's, they got a lot more upside coming if it's going to hit 76 here. But that we know. If it hits that, we better be on alert for a massive drop in the market or in the growth stocks. But I think I think there's no reason to think it won't. This is why we think the grand super cycle is still going to go higher. This is another great example of that right in front of our face here. We had a massive pullback, right? In fact, it could even be a 1-2-1-2, right? Now, let's take another look at it here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We pulled back. Yeah, see, we took that low out here. We have the peaks in 3 here. So this to me is the right way to label it. But let's go to the monthly. See, we don't have enough. The data isn't. We don't have enough data to do the monthly properly, unfortunately. So we have to go with the weekly. So the weekly supports this count, right? This is actually an interesting instrument because it gives us a better clue into the grand super cycle. And maybe we're not as bullish as we need to be, but I don't want to get any more bullish than I am right now. So I think we'll just stay where we are. This cycle should be ending soon. And we should be getting a bigger pullback, right? Back down to maybe 45. and then more upside. It's a very interesting chart. Unless we're missing data from the earlier years on it, but this is it. So I would be looking for something like this right now. Can I roll out a 1-2-1-2? Well, if we do that, then my whole market forecast is off. It needs to be permeable, moon boy. So we have to look at it as something like this is coming. Okay. That's your force. So you wouldn't think 2 would be deep. You would think 2 would find support right around here. So it'd be a very, now 5 could push higher, and then we could get a more dramatic 2, but something like that. Perhaps we test this breakout right there. Perhaps it comes back down there. Another possibility. So keep an eye on that. Interesting chart. I think I want to keep an eye on that. Okay, gold. GLD is... yeah, it's the best. I don't have that label, but I have the gold medal. And the gold medal is showing one more high, a major top for 3, and a bigger pullback in 4, and another 5. So, and then a potential major peak that is, let me just make sure I get this right. I may have not have, yeah, that would be 5. And that would be this, sorry, I didn't have it right, 3. So there's more upside to come in these cycles. Okay? And it can easily extend and erase divergence. So will there be pullbacks? There is. So the next pullback could be at 3,700 and then pull back. And this is just a conservative view here. It can easily just erase divergence and just keep mooning. So I think, though, we're going to come out of this consolidation. We're either going to bounce here and finish this cycle, or we're going to make a deeper pullback in 4. We'll know soon, and then we'll still come out high. So at one way or the other, we're coming up here. We just don't know which path the market's going to take. So the GLD is going to trade the same way, right? The same way. Okay. Right. Not as much history in the GLD as the metal. Yeah, that's a major cycle, so we have to do it like this. You see how 3 is just extending and extending, and it could just keep doing that. But you would think you'll get a bigger pullback soon, right? It seems like it's too stretched. See, it matches up with the other chart we had. But it should go higher, right? And then at some point, pull back at 3 waves and keep going. Shorter cycle. Same thing with the 4 here. It's either a triangle where it's done and it's ready to move in 5 right now, or you're going to get a little bit deeper pullback to 289, 288. We'll just leave it with the triangle for now. Okay. Yeah, the software companies are not in vogue right now. They're being thrown out. A baby's thrown out with the bathwater. People are starting to panic out of them. We have this kind of connector. We have 5 waves down. I won't be surprised to see service now hit 542. And we can take a look. Let's just look at the target one more time. Yeah, that area. My guess that's where it's heading. Software is out of vogue with the Wall Street crowd right now. But it'll be a good opportunity. And then Snow will probably do the same type of thing. Like, again, they're all going to probably drop. You have Adobe, you have them all. Like, they're all trading CRM. They're all bearish in these. They're going to have these capitulation moves coming. So Snowflake, I wanted to see a little more higher before it gets its capitulation move. Let's take a look. I mean, we could technically, it could be like this. This would be really bad for it. I mean, this will just annihilate investors if it's an A, B, C, because this C would just be like an annihilation move. So I would be really careful if you're in it. I mean, I could label it that way. I could label it. Let me go back to the weekly. There's a little bit of divergence, but like it's tight. So I don't know. This is tough. I could label that B there, but I wanted to see it go a little bit higher and then worry about why later, but you have a lower low. So it's likely to come back and break this low at some point. Google looks pretty good. It looks pretty good. I had a box just in case it did a double correction. It's probably not going to do the double. We have the whole grand super cycle, correct it, and now it's breaking out. Again, this is telling you, right? Again, there's more stocks in the stock market than Google, but hey, if Google's going to enter a wave 3, can the grand super cycle really crash? And we just saw the blue chip index has a lot more upside. Maybe Google's going to help carry it up because Google's just breaking out, right? So it's entering a 3. Now maybe you could say I could do this. Maybe I could force it to finish up like this. Last time I did that, it just kept extending, but perhaps I can label it that way and we get a pullback down to 187 and then it comes out, but that would be a great opportunity to buy that dip if that dip emerges into, okay, if that happens. So we'll keep an eye on it to see if that happens or not. That's a more conservative view. And then you break out. NVIDIA is, again, it's kind of the same chart that you saw here. Let me see if I can find it. NVIDIA 5 and then a bigger pullback in 2 to correct this cycle where I'm calling an extended 5th wave. We could pull back to 163. I think NVIDIA will see 300 before the end of the grand super cycle. Something like this. I do see it making more upside though. It did hit a box. We'll see if it can finish its 5 and then have a bigger pullback. Perhaps earnings is the catalyst for the pullback, or perhaps we come into earnings on the low. We'll have to wait and see. All right, and Amazon is also looking like really good. Again, these are why the grand super cycle, guys, can't be over, I think, yet. Look at all these charts that still aren't finished sequences yet. Amazon's another one. Amazon had 5 up here, extended 5, crash correction. Now, we only show 3 up. So if we can't make this 5, then we could double correct still in 2, and that would be a great opportunity to buy it at 202, somewhere around 202, I think. So there is a possibility for a double correction, 208, 202. But if we make the 5, then the low is in. You'll get this pullback, maybe down to 225. And then it could be ready to break out at any moment of its own little consolidation pattern. Again, seeing more upside. So that's Amazon. Okay, something like that. So we'll see if that happens or not. Again, more upside should happen. This could be the low, though. I don't think this low is going to break, personally. But what do I know? Okay. Yeah, I always call the trend going down. I call the trend, so everyone's like, are you still bearish the market? I'm bearish on the grand super cycle, so I'm very cautious. I respect where we are in the cycle on the bigger picture. So, guys, you have to understand the bigger picture, guys. If you don't understand the bigger picture, I explain this to my elite members. You have to understand the bigger picture, guys. The bigger picture on the grand super cycle is this is the end. So you can't be so stupid, crazy, buying the dip. The people in April, yes, they were buying the dip. Good for them. And I'm glad they took that risk. They took the risk right on the parabola. I promise you this, the day the grand super cycle ends, the same type of dip will happen. The same crowd will come in and buy, but that dip will not be supported, and it will melt down, and it will lose all their money. They will lose everything. That will be a Great Depression type breakdown. So are you willing to risk that? If you are, then buy the dip. Buy the dip. I wasn't willing to risk my members that because we were at the end of the grand super cycle. We were trading right here. Was I stupid enough to say, hey, go put your whole stack in? If this thing broke, it would have melted down, guys. My channel would have been over before it started. Yes, and the people who took that risk got the reward, and good for them. They deserve it because they took a hell of a risk. There was no clue to say that this could have easily continued lower. Once we got the confirmation the low was in, we got much more aggressive buying the market. And our elite members did. And we're up 100% on many symbols. Many symbols. Over 100% gains. More than anything than the dip buyer bought here. So my point is, we wait. I always will buy the trend, trade the trend, and wait for the confirmation, even if it means I don't catch the exact low. That's how it is. And again, when this cycle ends, whenever this blow off top ends, they're going to do the same thing. It's going to come down just like it did in April. And everyone's going to go, oh my God, buy it. Buy it. Retail, buy it. But guess what? This time it will bounce and it will fail. And when it fails, it won't just fail like, it will fail like gap down, gap down, gap down. That's what's going to happen. Now, you can go, maybe you'll get lucky again. It'll tag the parabola again and keep, and V bottom again. Like that. Maybe you'll do that and V bottom again and V bottom again. But my point is, we're not trading down here. We can't take that kind of risk, and I won't do that. If you guys want to do it. Buy it. I'm not stopping you. I would rather wait for the confirmation of the low than deploy my capital at the end of this historic bull market. It's almost over. Why the heck would you take that kind of risk? But hey, do it. I mean, if you have the money to risk, do it. Risk it. I'm not going to stop you. And that's what I told my members. We were never shorting it here. We were never shorting it. We actually shorted this down move. My only channel. We're the only ones that caught this. I started my channel and predicted this move down that we saw here in April. I was the only one. You guys can go back and look. I predicted this, and we called this is where I said it was going to bounce. But I wasn't willing to tell everyone to step in and put all their money in because I was worried that this whole thing was going to break down, and it could have easily done that, and they would have lost all their money, and my channel would have been over. I would have had people trying to sue me. It would have been a crazy crap, and I'm not going to do that, guys. I'm always going to be more cautious with your money. What I recommend. I'm not going to be stupid and just be like, buy. Because at some point, this thing is coming to an end. This parabola will not go up forever. It will not go backward. It's going to end. And when it does, it is going to be a catastrophe for people. So yes, am I bearish? Absolutely on the long term. Short term, I'm not. We're playing a blow off top. But we know we're playing at we're playing the end. Right? But this is probably could be some of the most easiest money you'll ever make. It's like straight up, right? The blow off top. So why don't we stay aggressive? And then when we start seeing signs it's rolling over or we break the parabola, then we can get more defensive. Okay? But unfortunately, guys, we're not down here. If you were born down up in this area, you know the bull market's come and gone. You're gonna have to wait your generational low. If you were down here, don't be a greedy bastard. You got to take some profit at some point. Right? Warren Buffett is almost all cash. Now, he may have bought UNH, but he's almost all cash because he's going to wait for this whole thing to break, and then he's going to deploy all that money, and he'll wait. So I want to tell you, that's my philosophy. So make sure you guys know that. But if that kind of shit bothers you, don't follow me. Just don't follow me. It's not that big of a deal. But it is what it is. It is what it is. So anyway, let's keep going with the questions. IVF. Let's go to IVF. Go back to my short-term charts. Got this pump coming, but I think it's going to fail. So again, there's really no, this can end at any moment, right? We look at this chart and we see any second, any moment, but knowing when is, unless you're the market maker, you don't know. So I don't think there's really much to say about that. It's like at any moment you're going to get a pump, probably back up to $9 from here, and then I think that will fail. I think it would fail. All right, WTI. Held that low. Held that low. Five up. So it looks like 3 waves down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's got to hold that low. It looks like 5 up. So it looks like to me you've got some kind of 1, 2. So it's got to hold these lows. If it can't, it won't. The bull market will fail. But I think it will make another swing higher. I think it's already turned, obviously, on the shorter cycle. And that's made its 5 up. Now it could still be in 2. We could still go deeper, but you want to stay above 108. MOBX. Looking for that B. It looks like that B ended. So now we're coming out in C. Right? So looking like, again, 5 up. And we should just keep going higher. Just like that. Pretty simple. Pretty straightforward. Sentinel 1. What is going on here? Yeah, and probably finished. Yeah, this is a real ugly chart. Let's take a look here. We got a problem here because we only have 3 waves up. We know we see we have this coming. Maybe that B's already in. Because that's only 3 up too. So we have to be careful if you're in this that you're not already in C. I think if you break that 14, you're in C. I think that's what we're going to have to go with for now. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So something like this. Right? I'll try to give you a level where we could see it bottom out. Like 827, somewhere in that area, in this box, is likely where it's going to go. So I thought this was too bearish of a view, so we labeled it to go a little higher, but it looks like the market's just taking it down now. I mean, that's what it looks like to me right now. MOD. Modine. Looks like that one we're in a 5, and we're still pumping in 5. So still more upside, but if it's 5, we should see divergences all over the place. But I have a feeling we're erasing divergence. So we're in 3 of 5s, which is obvious, but yeah, we're still below that peak. So yeah, so it's still a 5. So yeah, I would say still more upside on the shorter cycle, and we're still in 5. So you have to look for potentially a major top, and that would be around 180 if that were to happen. if the divergences get erased, that won't happen. But that's likely where we're coming here. All right, MU. Now we could see a double correction here. So we have a low. This is a major low. Again, what does this tell you again in the grand super cycle? So again, is this a major low? Let's just look at this chart real quick. See, that's pretty deep. I don't think that's 3. What an interesting pattern here. Right? It's like coiling up. It's coiling up for a big move. So I'll call it another 1, 2. I mean, that's what I have to call it. I wouldn't put the 3 there. 1, 2. And then this has obviously got to be, well, maybe not. Maybe is there 5 here? I don't see 5. Let's go to the 45-minute. Yeah, that's not helpful. 4 hour shows no divergence and a big pullback with 5 down. Is it going to do a double correction? Boy, that would shock the market. I don't think people are expecting that. We didn't get to the wave 4. We didn't get to 37. I don't know. It could do a double correction. It could surprise us. I would be surprised, but we need to be careful in this. It could do a double correction. If we saw applied materials, we got to be careful it doesn't do a double correction. I would not do anything with this. We need more data. We need more data. Because this is a huge call if this is right, and I would rather get more data. If we can break below 101, then maybe this is what's happening. I only see the 3 waves up though. Taking out this high would be better, but then I can label it as an ABC as a 1, 2. But let's just stay. I think we need to wait and see where this ends up. But it could go either way. But being where it is, maybe it will turn into an ABC and turn into a 1, 2, 3, 4, like be real overlapping, and a leading diagonal coming out. So maybe I'll do that. And then this count. Then it doesn't need to be 5 waves. It can be 3 waves. Thanks for joining. I appreciate it. One Road AV. Thanks. I know you will appreciate the membership. We've done a lot. And you'll watch my video tonight. You'll be able to see all the trades that we have got going on, and then what we are looking for. Thanks. Appreciate it. Let your winners ride. Thanks again. Yeah, I think when the grand super cycle ends, you're going to see a lot of, I think even CNBC may be not on anymore, exist the way, because again, CNBC only exists to keep you long, to keep you from ever selling. But at the end of the grand super cycle, I wonder if anyone would ever watch them anymore. DXYZ, I have to take another look at that. I think that chart I need to chart. I need to spend more time on it. I think it's a very complicated chart right now. I don't have it off the top of my head. I have to look at it closer. SBET follows Ethereum. If it's pulling back, SBET will pull back. Ethereum bottoms, that should turn out. So it looks like I got to everybody's questions. Thanks again, guys, for all the super chats, man, and watching my channel. Appreciate it, guys. And yeah, I mean, I would just manage your expectations, expect sideways to lower. And if it goes higher, great. That's a surprise. We have positions that will benefit. If not, we can buy this dip later, and then we'll be looking pretty good. And yeah, crypto's starting to go down. Yeah, see, like we expected this. The question is, what degree we're going to be in crypto? Is it going to be this more bullish setup, or are we going to have to go a little deeper? We don't know.